Hello everybody. This is a video in continuation on a number of videos I made on having to do with Islam, specifically having to do with the Quran. And I read that about 2 months ago and made some videos that have done relatively well on my channel. I've got a lot of great responses. Every day I have Muslim guys commenting, and overwhelmingly very great responses and encouraging me to read more, or giving their advice, philosophical advice. And that's what I live for. I live for, in my life, like having great conversations with people of different ideas, ideologies, and philosophies. And if my channel can promote that, then I am happy. And that's what feel like I am doing, okay? Well, I made a video the other day, again, having to do with Islam and Muhammad, the origins of his teachings, having to do with Archangel Gabriel giving him his teachings. And I got one response which I would think was is a bit controversial, and I want to address it, okay? And it has to do with the history of Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his wife, Aisha. And the reason why, I'll just say straight up, is she was 6 years old when they got married, okay? Now, this is a bit of a problem with the Western world, but before I'll get into that, I want to say that the traditions of not just Islam, but various cultures, such as even Christianity, going back a few centuries, there was things that in modern times we would not think as being kosher. Maybe that's not the greatest word to explain because it has to do with Judaism, but you get the idea, okay? I guess in Islam, the word would be like, what would you call something that is forbidden in Islam? I don't know. All I know is that what is permitted in Islam is halal, right? Like in some regards, as far as food goes, okay? Maybe the word will come to me later, but regardless, when it comes down to Muhammad, peace be upon him, his relationship with his wives, and specifically an underage wife, I guess this is permitted in Islam, okay? And I really want you guys who are Islamic to fill me in on this, because I am coming in this with a bit of speculation, but I just want to hear me out here. I'm not coming in here with a degree of overall criticism, okay, that you would expect your normal Westerner to be. So the history of Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his wife Aisha, so engagement and marriage, they were engaged when she was around 6 years old, which seems like a pretty young age. I'm just going to be honest. That's kind of young, but, historically speaking, especially if you're maybe Muhammad, peace be upon him, being like somebody who has a status that maybe they would marry in young people at that time, you know what I mean, to a well-off family. So the marriage was a bit more like a business contract or something else, or I'm only speculating here. So the marriage was actually consummated when she was 9 years old, and Muhammad was 53 years old. Bit of an age gap, I'll just say that. Role in early Islam. Aisha played a significant role in early Muslim community. She was known for her intelligence, memory, knowledge of the hadith, and of the sayings and actions of Muhammad. And the hadith is something that I know a lot of Muslim guys have recommended to me in further subsequent readings after mine of the Quran. And here's a little side note to this video, I do intend to tackle the hadiths very soon and make videos on that, okay? I do. I think I really need to, for my further understanding of Islam. Life with Muhammad. Aisha was one of Muhammad's favorite wives, so he had multiple wives, and held a special place in his heart. She accompanied Muhammad, peace be upon him, on various expeditions and was present during many important events in Islamic history. So, I'll just based on that, I don't have the most fullest understanding of Aisha, but it seems like, based on just that there is an important role of your religion with this specific wife, okay? Which happened to be underage when he was with her, but, over time, necessarily was not over time, okay? Contributions to Islamic scholarship. After Muhammad's death, Aisha became a key figure in the transmission of the hadith. Again, something that I need to learn more about. She narrated over 2,200 hadiths, making her one of the most prolific narrators. Well, that's something special as far as the religion goes. Like, all things aside, with Muhammad, peace be upon him, having underage wife, I think that's something that, for me to be like, wow, that's pretty impressive. That she was a significant figure, at least in relaying the teachings of Islam, not specifically the Quran, but the hadiths, to that is still being echoed through time, that message. Well, there is an importance there. I'll give it that, okay? Without judgment. Political involvement. Aisha was involved in early Islamic politics, notably the Battle of the Camel. The battle was fought between Aisha and the forces of Ali, the fourth caliph, resulting in her defeat. Now, this is something I have a general idea of, which has to do with certain historical conflicts within Islam itself, which is Ali. Okay, now you guys fill me in down below, and I assume it has something to do with the difference between Sunni and Shia, internal religions and tribes within Islam in itself. Now, is Aisha a predominant role in her translations having to do with against Ali, if that's what I'm gathering here? Then please fill me in on that missing piece of Islamic history to me, or non-Muslims who might have a predisposition, or like about Aisha and her role in Islam, being like, okay, she was just some underage wife of one of many wives of Muhammad, peace be upon him, or is there something more to this? Where I live in Niagara Falls, there's a mosque that is named after Aisha, and I knew this. I knew her. I knew this. Okay, and for many years. Legacy. Aisha is regarded as a predominant figure in Sunni Islam, so not Shiite. Her life and contributions continue to be studied and respected in Islamic scholarships. These points outline the key aspects of Aisha's life and her relationship with Muhammad, peace be upon him, highlighting her significance in early Islamic history. Now, I got to go back to the point, which is, was it unethical for Muhammad, peace be upon him, to be with somebody that young? Because in modern days, that would be considered pedophilia. Okay, I'll just put it out there. I'm not calling Muhammad, peace be upon him, pedophilia, because back in the time, it was a different time period, okay? And if she was like of birthing age, like back in the day, if she was already having her period and was able to have kids, a lot of time in different cultures, that was like, game on for her to be a wife, okay? In our time period, that is not the case. 18 years old is the case, and even if you're 18, being with somebody who's 50 years old might be looked down upon. But in some cultures, like Philippines, for example, I know people who go to the Philippines, and they're like 50 years old, and they hooked up with 20-year-olds. They have a 20-year-old girlfriend. You know, this is just different culture, and you know that's just the way it is there. In our culture, we look weirdly upon that, and I'm gonna be one to like not judge so much on that, okay? And maybe Western guys may be like, wait, like, are you okay with pedophilia? No, obviously not. I'm not okay with guys being with underage girls, not at all. But it's like, okay, you gotta look at historical context and the greater context. So I will, okay. And what impresses me with this interpretation that I'm looking at here is not just that, but the contributions she gave to Sunni Islam. She translated the Hadiths, or was a huge part. How many verses did I mention there that she translated? Ridiculous amount. 2,220 Hadiths. Okay. So obviously she was close enough and was there to further promote specific messages of Islam. But it does seem like there's a bit of a controversy and conflict when it comes down to the message with specifically Ali. And from my understanding, there's a difference between, like Saudi Arabia area of Islam, Mecca, and maybe like, I don't know, Tehran, Persia area. I don't know what that was like back in the day. Fill me in if that's correct or wrong, but that's my interpretation. I know specific areas of the Middle East are more Sunni and some are more Shia. So I'd love to hear your guys' interpretation on this whole thing, and specifically from people who are Muslims. Like, what do you think of Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his wife Aisha? Was that, something that was permissible? Is permissible to this day? It's not. Here's the word I was looking for. Haram. It's not haram, which means forbidden in Islam. So I just want to make this video not to, first question, not to criticize by any means, and would love to hear your guys, specifically people who are Muslims, your interpretation of Muhammad, peace be upon him's relationship with Aisha. And I want to also thank everybody for their comments on all my other videos, and to further the conversation in my greater understanding of your religion and with Islam. Okay? Thank you, and peace be upon you. Have a great night, guys.